Hello Fratellers and welcome to the Minecraft Weekly Snapshot. This week is 13W42A and it's been mainly a bunch of bug fixes and smaller tweaks, as it looks as if Mojang are getting prepared to release the 1.7 pre-release, which should be here within the next couple of weeks or so. So hopefully we'll be seeing that soon, and I think that means that pretty much now we're done with features and we're going to be focusing on bug fixes from here on out. So let's take a look at this week's snapshot, as there has been a couple of cool little improvements which I'm pretty happy with, I have to say. So as I put here, I know it says 41B, it should say 42A. A bunch of small tweaks and lots of bug fixes has been happening over the past week. Mojang have been focusing mainly on rewriting the sound engine, and I'll get to that in a little bit, but that's been the main focus. So maps can now support more colours than they used to, just a little small change there. Witches can now spawn outside of witch huts, and this is quite a significant change. So if you are wondering why I have it set to nighttime here, that is because we're going to go looking for witches. Now, witches spawn exactly like other mobs do, like a zombie, a creeper, or a skeleton now. Before they only spawned in their huts, now they spawn at night, or anywhere where it's dark. In caves, no matter what the biome is, they could spawn. They seem pretty rare, they seem to be about the same as an enderman to spawn. They spawn typically, I've seen them in groups of up to 2. I've not seen any more than a group of 2. That may be something different. The world isn't loading here, which is not helping matters, but there we go. It may change, or it may just be that I've had a bit of bad luck and not seen a large group of them. But at the moment, I've just seen them in a maximum of a group of 2. Let's see if we can see any witches. They're quite rare, but initially I was a bit surprised that this had been changed because of what witches actually drop. I was surprised that they had actually made it so that they could actually spawn in the wild now, but very handy if you have a dark room trap or something like that. It will give you much better access to those items. And also it just kind of varies it up a little bit, gives you a different monster to fight. Before, with witches, you kind of had to just, if you wanted to see one, you had to go to a hut. But now you can actually see them out and about in the wild naturally, which is pretty darn cool, although we're not having much luck, it seems, at the moment. But I do want to show you a witch before we actually end off this episode, so we'll probably just take a fly on back over there for the moment and see if we could spot any on the way back. It doesn't look like it. I'm seeing zombies, plenty of pigs. We're not really looking for pigs right now. Creeper down there. I mean, they do seem to be pretty rare, but I have seen them spawn, so I know that that is something that's definitely changed. Typically, I've found them maybe more commonly in the desert, simply because you can see them better than you could before. Against the backdrop of sand, they kind of stand out more over the backdrop of the grass over there. Not having much luck at all. I guess we'll fly on back now, but they do spawn. I actually recorded this video once already and seen some, but my microphone was not selected in the DxTory list, so that's had to go, unfortunately, because what's good a video with no audio? That's not good at all, so maybe I'll include a snippet from that if I can, if we don't see one before the episode's out. So in addition to that, we've also had retextured stained glass. I was expecting this, to be honest. It looks a lot better now. You can see through it a lot easier. It no longer shows its back face like it used to. Same with the panes, they've been retextured as well. They seem a bit more transparent now and better suited to actual windows. It was a bit it was too solid last week is the best way I could describe it, whereas now they've made it more transparent and fixed some bugs with them, like the ability to see the back of them. That's no longer the case. However, if you put 2 next to each other, obviously you can see the sides then because they're a different item. But that's that change. Pretty small standard change for the glass and the glass panes. I really approve. I like it. I think it's a lot better. Aside from that, we've also had more letters to be able to be typed on signs now. And the big thing which has happened this week is the rewriting of the sound engine and the sound system. So now you can add new sounds using resource packs, which you may be thinking, well, I could do that before. Well, now you can actually add sounds to the game that are like not attached to mobs or environment. You could record your own voice, for example, and actually make that into a sound, put it in a resource pack, and then play it through a command block. And the possibilities for that are incredible. You know, really, on servers, you could use it for an announcement feature at certain times of the day. You could use it in maps to give characters voices or tell the backstory. If you wanted like a narrator, if you wanted to record your voice. So the possibilities with it are pretty much endless, I have to say. Along with the fact as well that you can not just use your voice, you can add any sound to the game. You could add ambience, so that if you're walking through the savannah, for example, you could have all sorts of ambience going on from a command block using the play sound command. So there is just so many possibilities with that for custom maps and servers and things along those lines. So I'm pretty happy with that, I have to say. So aside from that, resource packs can now add, remove, supplement, and randomize group sounds using JSON files. I don't really understand that too much, but no doubt in a couple of weeks' time we'll probably begin to start and see some tutorials on how this stuff actually works. But you could do that now. And there's also been a bunch of bug fixes and crashes, as there is every week. Well, a bunch of bug fixes for crashes and other strange bugs. So they fixed glass panes showing all sides. I've already mentioned that, but that was a notable fix. Another notable fix is that super flat no longer shows void particles like it was doing last week. And another notable fix is that the back to front and sidestepping mobs and players has been fixed. It looked kind of really laggy last week. That's also been fixed. There is also a slight retexture, I think, for ice. It's nothing significant, and you can still obviously see it. Portals you can now see through again. That's something I didn't list as a notable bug fix, but it's still pretty cool nonetheless. You can still see water and other portals and ice through portals, but last week you couldn't actually see basically anything through them. So aside from that, we've not found a witch, unfortunately. I'm going to keep looking here, just see if we can see anything before we round the episode off. I'm seeing every other mob but a witch. You know, when you're looking for one, it just doesn't show up. And it did before, and then my audio got screwed up, so I haven't been able to use that clip, unfortunately. But I may just insert one, or I may have already inserted one, just showing that the witches do actually spawn in the wild, and that it's not a lie or whatever. I'm just kind of flying through here, and I'm not really seeing much of anything. There we go. There's some witches. You see there's two here, there's one over there. As you can see, it's true. Witches do spawn naturally. One thing I'm not 100% sure on, however, that may have changed, but also might have not changed, is the rate at which items drop. They don't seem to drop as many items as they do before. Now that's maybe due to the fact that I'm using just a sharpness 4 Unbreaking 3 sword and I'm not using looting or anything, but it does seem a bit lower than it used to be, which would probably kind of counteract their ability to spawn. But I've done some testing. Oh yeah, I see them all now, don't I? I see every witch around. This is very useful if you have a dark room trap. Then you can actually use these now and actually get a bunch more drops, which is really handy. I guess I'm going to be probably using a dark room trap in the very near future, just to have access to those things in good supply, because you've only got to stand AFK at one for a couple of hours and you're going to have plenty of stuff, and they do drop useful stuff at the end of the day. Redstone, glowstone, gunpowder, glass bottles, hell, that stuff's handy. You can use it everywhere, pretty much. So that's about it for today's video, guys. I hope that you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next weekly snapshot, or it might be the pre-release. I'm not 100% sure yet, but hopefully we'll be seeing a release of 1.7 in the very near future. So until next time, guys, see you later and have a good day.